There was a time when Hollywood saw Rachel Zegler as its brightest rising star, but now her name has become one that audiences avoid. This is the story of how a once promising career unraveled, and how her own choices lit the match. It's surprising how quickly a career can collapse in Hollywood, but Rachel Zegler is finding that out the hard way. Not long ago, many believed she was on her way to superstardom. She lived a real-life Cinderella tale, going from an unknown teen to personally chosen by Steven Spielberg, West Side Story. Fans were amazed that she stood out among thousands. She had the appearance, the talent, and the charisma. She even took home a Golden Globe. Soon after, Disney handed her one of their most legendary roles, Snow White. It seemed like her big moment. Fame, legacy, and success all within reach. But instead of securing her place, she unintentionally began tearing it all down. The trouble started during her Snow White press interviews. Rather than embracing the beloved fairy tale magic, Rachel took a different approach. She didn't just step away from the 1937 original, she openly criticized it. She referred to the prince as a stalker. She said Snow White no longer needed a man to rescue her. She called the original outdated and even foolish. Was she trying to present a modern perspective? Perhaps. But there's a big difference between refreshing a classic and dismissing it entirely. And Disney fans? They don't respond well to that kind of attitude. Twitter lit up. Reddit turned into a meme factory. And just like that, Rachel wasn't seen as Hollywood's rising star anymore. She became the actress who disrespected Snow White. But the backlash didn't end there. She poured even more fuel on the fire during the 2024 election by sharing political opinions online. In one Instagram post, she wrote that she hoped Trump supporters would never know peace. Agree with her or not, the bigger issue was that she worked for Disney. Disney's image is built on being wholesome, neutral, and family-friendly, not calling out half the country. The post went viral, but not in a good way. Disney stayed completely silent. No defense. No statement. And when Disney chooses silence, it's usually a sign they're trying to handle the damage behind the scenes. So what do you do when social media turns against you? Your big film gets postponed, and your studio is clearly worried. Rachel decided to shift gears and try proving herself elsewhere. Not on the big screen, but on stage. She took on the famous role of Eva Peron in Jamie Lloyd's production of Evita at the London Palladium. A character once played by legends like Madonna and Patti LuPone. This was supposed to be her comeback moment, a chance to remind everyone that, beyond all the headlines, she truly had talent. But even that didn't go according to plan. The production made an unusual decision. During the iconic song, Don't Cry for Me Argentina, Rachel appeared on a real balcony and performed for the crowd outside the theater. Meanwhile, the audience inside, some of whom had paid as much as $500 for front row seats, had to watch that key moment on a screen. Imagine spending your hard-earned money for the best seat in the house, only to end up watching it like you're at home in your living room. It sparked confusion, frustration, and a wave of internet memes. Some critics praised her vocals. Others admired her stage presence. But none of that could overpower the noise online. The spotlight wasn't on her talent. It was on the controversy, the creative decisions, the attitude, and the fact that ticket prices were falling fast. On some nights, audiences could pay what they wanted. On others, tickets were completely free. From Disney's Snow White to live street-style performances, people started whispering that Rachel wasn't just facing bad luck. She was becoming known as difficult. Not in a loud or explosive way, but in that quiet, draining kind of way that wears down everyone around her. But in that quiet, draining way, the kind where ego silently takes over the room. Reports began surfacing that she often clashed with directors, constantly shared her own ideas, and carried herself like she was the most experienced person on set. One crew member allegedly said she spoke as if she was smarter than the script itself. Another claimed she tried rewriting Snow White's dialogue during rehearsals to better fit her modern version of the character. Now, confidence is good, but in a place like Disney, that kind of pushback from a newcomer rarely ends well. And the tension wasn't limited to the set. Audiences started to notice that Disney was slowly pulling away. Posters began disappearing from shelves. The toy lines never launched. Promotional material dried up. At Disneyland, Snow White merchandise featuring her version of the character started vanishing. Across Disney stores, not a single image of Rachel's Snow White could be seen. And when the movie was already shot and edited, that kind of silence was a serious red flag. Because when Disney stops talking, it's not random, it's calculated. They weren't simply delaying the movie, they were quietly burying it. Then, the fans reacted. Loyal Disney audiences felt let down. They had grown up with these fairy tale stories, stories that meant something deeply nostalgic. They weren't looking for politics or lectures, they just wanted the magic they remembered from childhood. Instead, they got someone who seemed to mock it. One Reddit user summed it up perfectly. She acts like she's too good for the role. Like she's embarrassed to play Snow White. And when a fan base turns on you that hard, earning back their trust is almost impossible. Every new quote made things worse. Every attempt to explain only deepened the damage. Then people began digging into her past work. Her performance in West Side Story, once celebrated, was suddenly under scrutiny. People pointed out how the movie failed at the box office, despite glowing reviews. Then came Shazam 2, a film most people ignored. And the few who did watch it agreed. Rachel didn't save that one either. Now, instead of being seen as a breakout star, she was being labeled box office poison. As for Evita, what began as a bold comeback quickly turned into an embarrassment. Audiences didn't just walk out, many never showed up at all. The once packed theater emptied out. Ticket prices dropped dramatically. One night, seats were being offered for whatever spare change people had in their pockets. It stopped being about talent. It became about brand damage. And Rachel's name wasn't helping the production. It was hurting it. Behind the scenes, producers weren't sugarcoating it. One source admitted they regretted casting her, but felt they had no choice but to stick with it. Another claimed the original vision of the show had to be reshaped to match Rachel's creative direction. And if that's true, then the backlash wasn't just about her acting, it was about the ripple effect she had on the entire production. Some insiders said she was surrounded by yes men. Others believed she was simply too young to carry the weight of such intense pressure. Either way, the damage had already been done. And honestly, none of it would have mattered if the audience still loved her. But they didn't. Or maybe they didn't know how to anymore. Was she a rising star or a political voice? An artist or a lightning rod? Her image kept shifting. Her message kept changing. And fans eventually grew tired of trying to keep up. So they did what audiences always do when they feel disconnected. They quietly walked away. Producers began whispering about backup plans. Some started cutting ties behind the scenes. Others waited, hoping public opinion might turn around. But it didn't. The theaters stayed empty. Online reactions stayed negative. Rachel's name stopped trending because of her talent, and started trending because of the controversy. Even her earliest supporters, the ones who once called her fresh and iconic, began to fall silent. Not because she lacked skill, but because skill alone couldn't fix the fallout. And that's the saddest part. Her talent wasn't the problem. Critics agreed. She could sing, and she could act. But in Hollywood, success isn't just about ability. It's about how people see you. It's about timing. It's about knowing when to speak, and when silence speaks louder. Rachel, whether it was poor guidance or pure stubbornness, kept speaking when silence would have served her better. And the more she spoke, the more the audience drifted away. Studios began quietly cutting her out of marketing. One insider even said they were testing the campaign without her name attached. That's Hollywood code for one thing. She had become a risk. Snow White was meant to be a guaranteed hit, a nostalgic, money-making machine. Instead, it was being edited in real time to shrink her presence rather than showcase it. Delays turned into silence. Buzz turned into worry. And just like that, Rachel became the face of a project no one wanted to promote. It wasn't supposed to go this way. She had all the right pieces. Spielberg, a Golden Globe, Disney, Broadway. A resume that should have launched her into superstardom. But sometimes all it takes is one badly timed quote to send everything spiraling. In Rachel's case, it wasn't just one. It was a pattern. A series of missteps, tone-deaf comments, and an inability to sense the moment. She wasn't just pushing back against criticism. She was at odds with fans, studios, and her own public image. Insiders began whispering a dreaded phrase: Hollywood jail, a place where actors aren't officially canceled, but no one's picking up the phone either. You're not blacklisted. You're just invisible. No doors slam shut. They just stop opening altogether. And that's where Rachel found herself. Too well known to vanish, too divisive to spotlight. Her name sparked arguments, not applause. Her face on a poster didn't excite people, it made them hesitate. That's what happens when a career burns too bright too fast. People assume early success means you're untouchable. But fame isn't built on talent alone, it's built on trust. Audiences have to believe in you. Like you. Cheer for you. And Rachel lost that connection. Maybe it was the interviews, maybe the Instagram posts, maybe just the overall energy she brought into a room. But something didn't land. And when the crowd turns on you in Hollywood, winning them back is almost impossible. Now, people aren't asking what Rachel Zegler is starring in next. They're wondering if she'll get a second chance at all. Studios are treading carefully. Directors are wary. And fans? They've already moved on. The fairy tale collapsed, the spotlight dimmed, the magic disappeared. She's not being praised, she's not being criticized, she's just being ignored. And in show business, that's worse than being hated. So what's next? Maybe she takes a step back. Maybe she slowly rebuilds. Or maybe, just maybe, she turns the backlash into a comeback story. But one thing is certain, she's not Snow White anymore. And whatever comes next won't be fixed with a pretty dress and a catchy song. It will take humility, smart choices, and most of all, forgiveness that she has to earn.